owner, the coach in the disconnector, and we are joined by our wonderful guest, Chappelle Simmons, in the house today. But before we get into everything, we got to check on each other, see how each one of us is doing. So, Sister Carrie, how you doing, Sister Queen?
I am doing absolutely amazing. I am perfectly designed for what I perfectly have today. How you doing?
I am doing amazing. I had a phenomenal week celebrating my birthday last week and gave myself the gift. Well, I should say I'm giving myself the gift. I'm actually going to be taking 90 days to only focus on the things I want to focus on, which is our two shows, Fem Talk and the Coach and the Disconnector, and positioning myself to be able to invest on a entirely different level of things, because I realize that that's like where I'm being drawn right now. Now, normally I would feel some type of way about that, right? Like, well, who am I letting down? Well, who else is affected by this? But the main person I'm worried about being affected by this is my husband, and of course you guys, who I communicate with clearly. And even when it seems like it's coming out of the blue or seems out of pocket, like, you guys are my support system, like, no matter what direction I choose to go. And so I'm letting go and focusing and resetting and restructuring to come back better than ever.
I hear you. That's a good goal. When you filter your outside by the inside and you don't like what you see outside, you still got to do the inside. So those 90 days is great, because the more structure and more support you create for yourself, the more support that starts showing up on the outside. Right? It's still support.
Yep. And who knows? I might have conceived a child by the time that 90 days is up too. Oh, snap. I know, right? So we'll just have to see what happened, all right?
I'm here for it. I
know, right? My child's gonna have so many aunties and uncles. It's gonna be
amazing. Built-in village. You ain't gotta worry about your village coming. We are here.
Right. Village already on deck. So, guys, before we jump into this episode, we want to let you know of a couple of things that have changed. You still got the same old Coach and the Disconnector here. Of course, we're always evolving, changing, growing, and showing out for y'all. But because our schedules are so crazy right now, we don't want to stop what we're doing. So we just decided to restructure for a while. So here's what's happening. These episodes are going to be pre-recorded, but as we're available to watch with you guys, we're going to be on, commenting, interacting with you guys, and doing what we normally do. So we decided to take it from an hour down to 30 minutes for the time being. And these episodes are going to air every other week, because there are certain things going on in both of our lives right now that require more of our attention. But it doesn't mean that we're going to stop doing what we do for y'all, because we also get something out of this too.
Absolutely.
So without further ado, these episodes will air every other Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And of course, because we're doing every other week, that gives me more time to create flyers and let you guys know what's going on and make sure you know what's coming, where to tune in, how to communicate and connect with us still. So with that being said, Carrie, you want to add anything?
No, just be here and let us know how it's working for you. Still engage with us. Because you don't have to only engage with us on the actual lives. That's what the page is for y'all to engage and to let us know what you think about the content we created, and to let us know if there's any content that you would like for us to create. And with us doing it pre-recorded, we have better timing to be able to meet not only our own schedules, but the schedule of those who maybe are never free on a Thursday. So it's opened up the interviewing process and the possibility for us to have more guests and different types of guests, just because now we can work around our schedules better. So make sure you're scheduling the episodes into your day and watch them whenever you like, and then we can open up the dialogue any day of the
week. Exactly. And that's what I love about the fact that we just flow like that. It's marvelous. So without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and hit a short commercial break, and when we get back, we will have Chappelle Simmons in the house with us. Secret Simmons is in the house. How are you feeling, my dear?
I feel wonderful. I feel wonderful.
Excellent.
Yes.
So,
Wonderful looks good on you.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you. It looks nice on you all as well.
Yes, thank you. So I'm excited about this because it's not often, that our paths go outside of a lot of tribes. So I'm always excited when Brandy brings people on that I haven't met. It's because it's hard to do that. And for me, in the space that we're in a lot of times. So very nice to meet you, Miss Simmons.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So, to those of us that have not met you yet, give us a little introduction.
Well, my nickname is Secret. Of course, you know my name is Chappelle. I come from Savannah, Georgia. To start off, the story that I want to tell is the tragedy and trauma that have happened in my life to the success story. The trauma is at 8 years old, I was molested by a neighborhood's friend who everyone thought was a good guy. And of course, he wasn't. From there, as I grew, more trauma occurred because I was raped 4 times up until the age of 36.
Wow.
No one never knew. But as a child and not telling anyone, I thought that everyone could see it basically on my face, not by my actions, because I was always a quiet kid. So it wasn't unusual for me not to talk. When I got older, it just kept happening and I could not understand why. But when I turned 27, there was a turnaround. I got married, and the guy that I married became abusive after we was married, and he committed suicide. I was with 3 children, 2 young children, and a 9-year-old.
Wow.
Baby was 9 days old when we discovered him, 12 days old when we buried him. But that's when the journey basically began. I started seeking God. I knew that the only person that could change anything was him, but I didn't know who he was or is today. And that's where my journey began. And once I started receiving the revelations and understanding who I am to become, then I was able to start reaching out to people as I reached out to you to start telling the story so that I can help people, children especially, who are silenced because of the trauma and not understanding why no one is coming to help or why no one has noticed that there's a change within me. Not even to just say that there's a change in me, I became invisible. Even though I was there in person and people was talking to me, there was no response. Not from me, not from them. It was like womp womp. You know that the Charlie Brown show
Teacher.
and then she's womp 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 womp. That's how my life became. I could
Mm.
talk, and I knew that someone knew who my father was or is because that spiritual being was always there. He was always there. And I knew that I was magical. I knew I had these powers that someone was supposed to teach me how to use. And my thing was, why are these grown people around me or these big people not protecting me and telling me what I need to know to defend off these awful people, the bad people, that lamb in wolf clothing was always there. And as a kid, people always think that this is the imagination. To me, it wasn't the imagination, it was the Holy Spirit. There was always someone there saying or giving me this feeling, I'm getting chills again, that danger is coming. But I was never afraid. I was not scared. I just knew something bad is about to happen. Something is about to not be nice. And just let it happen so that I don't get hurt no more than what they're already going to hurt. Not just that, but the dysfunction of not teaching our youth what is out here in this world. The world is becoming more and more demonic. No
That's
one
crucial.
no one wants to be spiritual. No one wants to talk about God. Once they took him out of school, it just felt like, how can you put God in your back pocket? Why is anyone utilizing the tools that he give us, and he give us him? He said, use me and I will protect you. So as a child, even though my family took me to church, no one introduced me to Jesus. I feel like we need an introduction to him as children. Don't just say that God exists, because the devil also exists. You're not telling the child about the devil, but you're telling him about Jesus. You're not telling who Jesus is, you're just telling him that Jesus is a man. You're not telling what Jesus can do for you. You're not telling your child, if I'm not here, call Jesus, he will protect you. And then I knew, but I didn't know who I was calling. I would tell people I'm adopted. What you mean you adopted? That's not my mother and that's not my real father. Those are people that my parents put me with until they come back to get me. I was a child saying this. I didn't know that my Heavenly Father was putting it in me. But I'm telling these people, my parents is coming to get me. I don't know who they are, but I know they coming to get me because they rich. They're going to take better care of me. And my parents didn't know what had happened to me because I didn't tell them.
All right, Secret. Slow down now. You just gave us a lot to unpack. Oh, my.
I'm sorry.
Oh, my.
I get to speak now. I don't have to hold it back anymore.
No secret.
Right. There are no such things as secrets. I tell my kids that all the time. I don't know how I got the nickname. Like, how you telling me that nickname? Because I make sure I tell them there's no secrets. If there's a secret, most times behind it, there is not a secret to be held back. It's not a good thing. Didn't I tell you to go take a nap?
He want to do what you doing, Granny. Come on.
Here, come say hi. Come here, sit on my lap. So we can talk.
Hey! Hello! You are gorgeous.
The baby is Mama Embarrassed.
And I can already tell you
his name. I make sure they don't hold those secrets back. So he's telling everybody's name.
That's awesome. What's your name?
What's your name? What's your name? Chosen.
All right now. Sugar mama, huh? Cherish it is. But I'm glad his little rear end walked on in, because part of what's going on with you from having conversations with you involves him and his.
Yes, it does. Yes,
so in all of your experiences that you've had up until now, how does that help you to recognize what's going on and to make sure those patterns don't repeat with others in your life?
I educate them. I've educated myself by spiritually first. Then I went back to school. I received my high school diploma a couple of years ago, and I took up every course that I could take up that was free, so that it would take me to a higher plane. And then I went back to university, and now I'm going to the university to get my bachelor's degree for behavior therapy.
That
Wonderful.
Amazing. Kudos.
The key
that's clap worthy.
Yes.
Because it's her resolve that is beautiful. When you see that switch change from I get to choose.
Yes.
We live in that mode of this is happening, I gotta adjust and I gotta react. It's like, let me get on the other side of this thing.
Right.
Let me start choosing some stuff. And because whatever's happened, like you said, is gonna be what it's gonna be regardless. It's here. It has arrived. But let me use my energy to actually choose. And you chose that. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
Girl, them people don't care about that noise. We all get it. Yeah, but I love that, and I love seeing.
Yeah,
that.
we see your toy.
Mhm.
We see your toy, Chosen. It's a very nice toy. Why you fling it in grandma's face?
Look at them eyes.
So
Another one.
another reason why I absolutely love that you've decided to go back to
This is
school.
Zaya.
I went back to school so that I could properly educate my grandchildren first. I started with them because my children are now grown and they don't want to hear basically what I have to say. It's not until I ended up taking care of my grandchildren in my home as a foster mother. Now I'm a foster mother for them. I started out with them, and hopefully by the end of the summer, I'll be in my own home. And I'm going to have more room for other children who needs help. And that was my goal. That's my goal now, is to start helping other children and family members, especially young girls who don't know to do the signs. We have to teach the children signs first so that they know when a predator or someone that is not for them, to get away from them. I think the worst thing that we do for our children is to teach them that family members who are abusive, they have to love them anyway. And it's not to say that love changes, but we need to keep our children away from abusive family members, especially abusive family members, because most of the time it starts at home, and children are growing up thinking that even though someone says, I love you, and still abuse you, it's okay. That's not okay. I was abused by a narcissist for 20 years because no one told me that just because he's my husband, he can't put his hands on me. Or just because he's my husband, he don't have to pay rent. He don't have to help me with the home duties. I became ill with cancer and multifocal motor neuropathy. It's a long word, but those type things where he was abused as a kid and didn't know how to be a family man. So for 20 years, my children grew up with a man who wasn't their father, who abused me, then he abused them. So now we have this generational curse thing going on, and it will continue to go on if someone don't stop it. And I just feel as though the Lord chose me to be that vessel for him to stop, and to start with my family first so that I could go outside, because we learn that first and then we move outside. So,
all right, now you're your family's disconnector. So with that, go ahead and take a short intermission and drop a commercial in here so we can get your final words on today's episode, because the things that you're doing, they might seem small to you, but it's about to have a very big impact, especially on that little person back there. So guys, we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
1, 2, 3. Wow. Boom. What? Wow. Hey.
You can't control a man. If you can control him, that's a boy.
He is not worth it.
So put a pound 22 on that.
I'll slap you.
He said he wants to be on TV. Every time I record, here he comes.
Our little people are curious, but what I absolutely love about what you're doing is you couldn't get your children to listen to what you were saying, so you finally just started to lead by example. Now, whether or not they're listening, you know them little people right there are.
Oh,
so
yeah.
keep that mess up
And watch it. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's the best way to lead is definitely by example, because people around you, it will rub off. It will rub off. Yeah, good stuff. I love it.
Most definitely. So we know that you are now up and coming and beginning to move around the country as a speaker. So anybody that would be interested in getting in contact with you to have you share your story, to have you share your insight and your experience in a way that can help others, how would they go about doing that?
They can email me. They can social media. I have a social media account that I will send to you afterwards, if it's okay.
That'll work.
I should have given it to you earlier. In my bio, I would display my bio. We could talk about that later. Yeah.
We got you. We got you. Another benefit.
But I'm scared that I get all kinds of calls when I'm sleeping.
That I used to be worried about the same thing, to be perfectly honest. But what I started doing is I put my phone on do not disturb from a certain amount of time at night to a certain amount of time in the morning. If I happen to look at my phone and catch it before then, great. If not, I'm not looking at my phone till after 9 a.m. every day. So if y'all message me and you don't get a response right back, it's because I have a morning routine. I am working with a coach because your coach should have a coach. And we're working on my routine because a solid routine leads to a solid foundation, leads to an amazing life. That's how that happens. So Secret, we have definitely loved having you on this evening. Before we jump off of here, I want to allow Carrie to leave us with her final word, because I know you got something, sis. I know you got questions. I know you got some kind of inspiration to impart on our sister here. What you got, Carrie?
I just loved everything she said about her journey, because she is centrally focused, because she knows she can only control what she can do, and she's willing to do all she can do because she knows it's what she has been called to offer through her experience. And I think that's a very beautiful process.
Agree. Definitely agree. So, Miss Secret, what would you like to leave everybody with today?
Talk to your children. Teach them. We're not teaching the children anymore, and they're little sponges. They just want to soak up everything. I taught my grandchildren how to spell their name by song. I teach them through song. They just want attention, and not the wrong attention. If you see someone that is not right, and if your child says, I do not like that person, I don't care if you just met him, walk away from him. He's not worth it, or she's not worth the pain. They're not worth the pain of your children. They do not have to have harm because they were not taught. And my thing is just teach. If you don't have anything else to say to them, tell them God bless them. What about the but do not let the babies get hurt. It hurts worse for your kid to grow up with that monster.
I absolutely love that you said that, because I know a lot of people that if somebody had just been paying closer attention, that they would have certain hurts in life. But at the same time, if they hadn't experienced those things, they wouldn't have turned out to be the amazing individuals that they are by way of those experiences. Should we allow kids to have those experiences? Absolutely not. We should be not hyper vigilant, but very vigilant of those that we allow around our children, men, women, other children, because some one thing that I've seen around here in particular is there are some children that are prepared to start school, and then there are other children that are sent to school because they're too old for the babysitter. And it's exposure to those kids that can sometimes take our children off of the right path as well, because those kids come to school and they just have an outlet for anger and frustration for things that are going on at home. And they don't know how to express themselves, but that's a good indicator as to who's got great supervision and who could use just a little bit more. So with that, we want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Chosen, for coming on and being with us today.
Indeed.
Ready? You say welcome. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye, Chosen.
All right, you guys. So I'm going to take you down. Don't go anywhere. We'll have a conversation with you as soon as we wrap up here. But guys, be sure to let Miss Secret know. Let her know. Thank you for sharing of herself so freely, because this is tough stuff. This is something that could easily crush somebody, but instead she has cried through it and become somebody who wants to be an advocate for those that don't need to go through it. And if you do go through it, she's there for that too.
That's
So
right.
don't go anywhere, Miss Secret. So yeah, that was an absolutely amazing interview. I know Carrie and I come on here laughing, carrying on, and acting up sometimes, but we're not afraid to tackle the serious situations and experiences as well. So that's why I love what we do, because we flow with it, and not everything is rainbows and unicorns. Some things require actual attention and problem solving skills that some people wish didn't need to be had, but it exists. Therefore, we must learn how to move through it and grow through it. So, Carrie, what would you like to leave everybody with today?
I just say, just keep focusing on you. Everything that you believe, everything that you put out is filtered through what's inside of you. So if you stay centrally focused and always doing your maintenance and your house cleaning inside, everything being filtered through that will also experience that expansion. So keep focusing on you and what you need to release and what you need to do with yourself, and being in connection with that God-like center. Because I had just had this conversation with someone earlier today. You do not have a piece of God in you. You are a piece of God, because God is the whole. God is everything. So if you conduct yourself in that way, we really can amplify every room we walk into.
Absolutely love that. And I would like to say that no matter how damaged that you believe yourself to be, there's always a brighter side to everything. You just have to choose to go towards it. Yes. And it's just as easy to sit and wallow and say, why me, poor me, it never goes my way, or start making shit go your way.
Deciding,
that part. So one step at a time. You need help with that process, you already know Carrie and I are right here. We can be reached at bethedisconnect@gmail.com. Let me see if I got that in here. Yep. bethedisconnect@gmail.com. Now you'll get me directly, but if you want me and Carrie, just say so in your email, and we'll connect with you and get you connected with the right coach, mentor, guide, whatever we come up with that you need. It's like you're not out here alone. It only feels that way. Come connect with your tribe. We're here for you.
Yes, indeed.
And on top of that, too, be sure to go to ATBA Impact Group on Facebook. Connect with the tribe. There are so many people.
Right?
Right?
High vibes coming. I tell y'all, high vibes. Oh, it's high vibe season.
Yeah. Oh man, so many fun times to be had. I'm almost mad. I'm gonna get there.
You go. I ain't gonna say it. We'll say that for later. Bye, y'all. We're gonna get off here. Bye.